Isaiah 7. During the reign of Ahaz, son of Jotham, son of Uzziah, king of Judah, King Rezin of Syria, and King Pekah, son of Remaliah of Israel, marched up to Jerusalem to do battle, but they were unable to prevail against it. It was reported to the family of David, Syria has allied with Ephraim. They and their people were emotionally shaken, just as the trees of the forest shake before the wind. So the Lord told Isaiah, "Go out with the son, Shear, Jesub, and meet Ahaz at the end of the conduit of the upper pool that is located on the road to the field where the wash and dry clothes. Tell him, make sure to stay calm. Don't be afraid. Don't be intimidated by these two stubs of smoking logs, or by the raging anger of Rezin, Syria, and the son of Remaliah. Syria has plotted with Ephraim and the sons of Remaliah to bring about your demise. They say, let's attack Judah, terrorize it, and conquer it. Then we'll set up the son of Tabeel as its king. For this reason, the sovereign Lord says, it will not take place. It will not happen. For Syria's leader in Damascus and the leaders in Damascus is Rezin. Within 65 years, Ephraim will no longer exist as a nation. Ephraim's leader is Samaria, and Samaria's leader is the son of Remaliah. If your faith does not remain firm, then you will not remain secure. The Lord again spoke to Ahaz. Ask for a confirming sign from the Lord your God. You can even ask for something miraculous. But Ahaz responded, I don't want to ask. I don't want to put the Lord to the test. So Isaiah replied, Pay attention, family of David. Do you consider it too insignificant to try the patience of men? Is that why you are also trying the patience of God? For this reason, the Lord himself will give you a confirming sign. Look, the young woman is about to conceive and will give birth to a son. You, young woman, will name him Emmanuel. He will eat sour milk and honey, which will help him know how to reject evil and choose what is right. Here is why this will be so. Before the child knows how to reject evil and choose what is right, the land whose two kings you fear will be desolate. The Lord will bring on you, your people, and your family, or your father's family, a time unlike any since Ephraim's departure from Judah, the king of Assyria. At that time, the Lord will whistle for flies from the distant streams of Egypt and for bees from the land of Assyria. All of them will come and make their homes in the ravines between the cliffs and in the crevices of the cliffs, in all the thorn bushes, and in all the watering holes. At that time, the Lord will use a razor hired from the banks of the Euphrates River and king of Assyria to shave the hair off the head and private parts. It will also shave off the beard. At that time, a man will keep alive a young cow from the herd and a couple of goats. From the abundance of milk they produce, he will have sour milk for his meals. Indeed, everyone left in the heart of the land will eat sour milk and honey. At that time, every place where there had been 1,000 vines worth 1,000 silver shekels will be overrun with thorns and briars. With bow and arrows people will hunt there, for the whole land will be covered with thorns and briars. They will stay away from all the hills that were cultivated for fear of the thorns and briars. Cattle will graze there, and sheep will trample them. Hey, welcome in, Demaro and Mel. Good to see you this morning. All right. So a lot of people, when we go read this passage, they want to just jump to this being a passage about Jesus. We need to refrain from doing that. This scripture was not given to Isaiah to give to King Ahaz so that it could be about Jesus years later. Yes, it can have a fulfillment in the future, but it had a fulfillment in the days of Isaiah and in the days of Ahaz. It is a fulfillment for him. So first, let's get the setting for the promise. So there is, during the reign of Ahaz, the king of Judah, the king of Assyria. Is it Syria? No, it's Syria. King of Syria. I always get Assyria and Syria mixed up. Syria and the northern kingdom of Israel are plotting against Jerusalem. They're going to march to do battle. And it's reported to the family, the king, Ahaz, and so, or it gets to him, and they're going to, so, like, when they hear this, they're shaken like leaves, shaken like a leaf on a tree. They're terrified. And so the Lord tells Isaiah to go and with your son Shear Jesub and meet Ahaz. So who do we have this Shear Jesub? Do we have something in the footnotes? The name means a remnant will return. Perhaps in this context where the Lord is trying to encourage Ahaz, the name suggests that only a few of the enemy invaders will return home. The rest will be defeated. Okay, so he's going to go with his son. A remnant will return. So, okay, that's an interesting little tidbit. And meet Ahaz at the end of the conduit of the upper pool on the road to the field where they're washing and drying your clothes. Okay, it's not the place of battle, okay? He's going to meet him there, because if you're going to go washing and drying clothes, it's got to be a calm and peaceful place. And make sure to stay calm, don't be afraid, don't be intimidated by the two stubs of smoking logs. What is that normally translated as? A derogatory metaphor indicating the power of resin and Pekah is ready to die out. Okay. The raging anger. So, okay, it is referring to the enemies as worthless stumps, symbolizing they ain't going to last. They ain't going to be around. So don't fear those. Like I would say, don't fear the dirty dishwater. And, in some ways, like, yeah, what's dirty dishwater going to do? Oh, no, it's inconvenient, but it's not going to hurt me. As opposed to boiling, scalding oil. That's going to hurt. Boiling oil, going to hurt. Dirty dishwater, pretty lukewarm, not going to be a problem. So make sure you stay calm. These guys coming against you are going to be no problem. They're going to say, let's attack Judah, terrorize it, conquer it. Then we'll set up our son. So, Isaiah's confirming the rumors you heard are true. They plan to come against you. Absolutely. They certainly do. But here's what God says. It will not take place. It will not happen. For Syria's leader is Damascus, and the leader of Damascus is Rezin. Within 65 years, Ephraim will no longer be. So not only do you not have to fear, you do not have to fear what is going on right now, but within 65 years, the threat of the northern kingdom is going to be gone forever. Ephraim's leader is Samaria. Samaria's leader is the son of Remaliah. Now, here's a conditional clause. If your faith does not remain firm, then you will not remain secure. So how is his faith going to remain firm? By trusting in God. If you do not believe, you will not endure. So, yeah, and the belief is not intellectual assent, okay? It is holding firm and in the confidence of the Lord. So you need to have confidence that what the statement, the information Isaiah is giving you is true. And as you do this, you will have exactly this happen. Now, okay, you want a confirmation sign. This is what most people would want to go to next. How do I know that this is true, what you're saying, Isaiah? How do I know it's indeed from the Lord? It's already preempted here. The Lord again spoke to Ahaz. Ask for a confirming sign from the Lord. You can even ask for something miraculous. What does the text on that, or the footnote on that say? It's not the way I'm used to hearing. Make it as deep as Sheol, or make it as high upwards. The word suggests Ahaz can feel free to go ahead beyond the bounds of ordinary experience. Like, like people will say this very often, if I'm lying, may lightning strike me now. Like that kind of a thing that you're looking for in immediacy of things. You've got the fleece that Gideon asked for. He could have went in that direction of asking for something. But his response is, I don't want to ask. I don't want to put God to the test. This seems like a good answer and a good reply. What do we have here? The use of the word nasa is, in its negative sense, challenge, provoke. However, this is false piety, a smokescreen designed to cover up his lack of faith in God. So yeah. So he doesn't want to lose faith and say, yeah, I absolutely have to have a sign. No, he is trying to have false security in his own ability while he's shaking like a leaf on a tree. And so Isaiah says, pay attention. Do you consider it too insignificant to try the patience of men? Is that why you are also trying the patience of God? So you're saying you don't want to provoke and challenge God's patience? That's absolutely what you are doing now. You are trying the patience of God by not listening to what he has told you to do, by ask for a sign. So you know what? You're going to get a sign anyway. You're going to get a sign anyway. Look, the young woman is about to conceive and will give birth to a son. You, young woman, will name him Emmanuel. He will eat sour milk and honey, which will help him to know how to reject evil and to choose what is right. Here is why this will be so. Before the child knows how to reject evil and choose what is right, the land whose two kings you fear will be desolated. So the woman is going to conceive and give birth to a son. Right now, presumably not pregnant. When is he going to be weaned? Weaning would take place around 5 or 6 years, most likely. Depending upon time and other things and what's going on in the land, that would be a normal thing. So you're going to have 5 to 6 years plus the other. So let's just say in a 7-year span, is likely all of this is going to take place. So let's go look at what it has here on the footnote for young women, because if you're used to thinking about this as Jesus, you're used to the virgin being said there. And this is going to point out it does not necessitate to be virgin. Because this verse from Isaiah is quoted in Matthew in connection with Jesus' birth, the Isaiah passage has been regarded since the earliest Christian times as a prophecy of Christ's virgin birth. Much debate has taken place over the best way to translate the Hebrew term, although ultimately one's view of the doctrine of the virgin birth of Christ is unaffected. Yes, so don't worry about whether Isaiah says virgin or not. Matthew does say virgin. Matthew is not going off of the Hebrew. Matthew is going off of the Septuagint. So we have other ways to deal with that issue. It's not a problem. Okay, the Hebrew word used, alma, can sometimes refer to a woman who is a virgin. It does not carry its meaning inherently. The word is simply the feminine form of the corresponding masculine, young man. So it's just young woman. The Aramaic and Ugaritic cognate terms are both used of women who are not virgin. The word seems to pertain to age, not sexual experience, and would normally be translated young woman. The LXX translators, who later translated the book of Isaiah into Greek sometime between the 2nd and 1st century, however, rendered the Hebrew term into the more specific Greek word parthenos, which means virgin in a technical sense. This is the Greek term that also appears in the citation of Isaiah in Matthew. Therefore, regardless of the meaning of the term in the Old Testament context, the New Testament usage of the Greek term indicates that from his perspective, a virgin birth has taken place. So that's what I was saying. Like, they laid it out pretty well here. Matthew's quoting the LXS, the Septuagint, and it's Greek. Here in the original, it just says young woman. So we're not looking for, this is why I wanted to bring this up, we're not looking for a virgin in the life of Isaiah to give birth to a son miraculously. That's not the sign. The sign is that there is a woman who is going to give birth. It's probably an unexpected birth. It is someone who has not yet been given birth. Saying a young woman, implying this is her first birth. So there is someone in the household of the king who was going to give birth to their first child. That's simply what it is. There's a woman going to give birth and going to name his name Emmanuel, which means God with us. And he will eat sour milk. I hope there's a footnote on the sour milk. Perhaps cream, frequently curds, some translated as butter, and some yogurt. Oh, I think yogurt's an interesting choice there because there would be some culture within there, but frequently it's curds. So going to eat curds and whey, cottage cheese, and honey. So the point of this being is there's an abundance of milk on some level. In order to have curdled milk, you have to have a continuous source of milk, I would think, in order to take the time to do that, to take some and put it aside to go through that process of doing it. If you have a limited supply of milk, you're going to just be consuming the milk. You're not going to be going through other processes. And honey. Honey is also a prominent. So this is a land flowing with milk and honey. So he's going to eat that, and it's going to help him to learn to reject evil and choose what is right. Why this will be so. Okay, that's where we left off. Before the child knows how to reject evil and choose what is right in the land, the two kings you feared will be desolated. So before this child is weaned, there will be an elimination of these. I already told you it's going to be within 65 years. The kingdom's going to be destroyed completely, but the kings are going to be gone within 7 years, and then the kingdom's going to be gone within 65. And you won't have to fear them no more. No more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. At that time, the Lord will whistle for flies from the distant streams of Egypt and for the bees from the land of Assyria. Okay, now the bees to me on some level could be a good thing, but the flies are not going to be. The flies sound like a plague. The flies are irritating. Bees are irritating, especially dangerous because of the pain they inflict and they sting. The metaphors are well chosen for the Assyrian symboled by the bee. We're taking now the Assyria, not Syria. I always get them mixed up. Morning, Omega. So we have Syria and the Israel are plotting against you, and Assyria is going to come and do the devastation, and bees are going to come, and flies from Egypt are going to come. The Egyptian, symbolized by the fly, nevertheless, both would be pressure on Judah, for Egypt wanted Judah as a buffer against the Assyrian aggressor, while Assyria wanted it as a base of operation against Egypt. Following the reference to the sour milk and honey, the metaphor is especially apt. The flies are attracted to the dairy product, and the bees are in the vicinity of honey. Southside TV love, good morning. So we have them coming in. All of them will come and make their home in the ravines, between the cliffs and the crevices of the cliffs, in the thorn bushes, and in the watering holes. At that time, the Lord will use a razor hired from the banks of the Euphrates, and the king of Assyria will shave the hair off the head and the private parts. It will also shave off the beard. Okay, we're talking about shame. We're talking about shame is going to come upon the northern kingdom. They're going to be destroyed. They're going to be defeated in shame. And as we continue to move on in there, it's just more talk of devastation of what's going to happen. Thorn bushes are going to grow everywhere. Animals are going to overtake things. And there's just going to be a remnant that's not able to survive. They're going to just be barely making ends meet. People are going to have to resort to hunting, no longer farming, to get by.